Shout out Dicks and Balls, a local Connecticuter. Okay, podcast question, AJ and Allie. Are you successful? Having accomplished more than most of us, don't like how he said that, do you consider yourself successful at this point? If so, and it all went away tomorrow, would it be a success regardless? He's got 3 questions, so let's start with that one.
Okay. So that was the question?
That was one of them.
Yeah. But success isn't a destination. Success is
here we go.
The definition of success, and I'm not going to be able to come up with it off the top of my head because I have a feeling I'm not firing on all syllables at the moment. Even though we haven't really started yet, I could just tell.
I could tell because your bathroom break before we came on.
That was just a pee. Yeah, that was.
You should have wiped to check.
What?
Continue.
Read the question one more time.
Yeah, I knew you weren't listening. Are you successful? Having accomplished more than most of us, do you consider yourself successful at this point? If so, and it all went away tomorrow, would it be a success regardless?
Yeah.
I say yes.
Yeah. So success to me, especially like a lot of the books that I read will have success in the title, and I don't equate success to some financial
gain
tier. I don't equate it to some status or any of that. I think that success to me is literally the pursuit of pursuing what you love and doing what you love in helping other people with that thing. Mm-hmm. So that's always the advice I give. It's like, find the thing that you love, get really good at it, or vice versa, something that you're really good at, learn to love it, which a lot of people I think do, and then figure out how you can help somebody else with that thing. Mm-hmm. And then success is just the pursuit of that.
Yeah. It's funny because you're going to get angry at me for saying this probably, but I don't look at us as successful. I almost have like imposter syndrome.
You totally do. It's very frustrating. Oh my gosh.
Well, I think from my perspective, I just try not to have like a big ego. And I try to stay grounded. And I feel like if I think that, then
it's like self-deprecating humbleness. And also it's a little bit of like, you could tell you have fixed mindset definitions sometimes of success. Certainly monetary success.
Yeah, and we talked about that the other night, actually. We had a long conversation about my childhood. You have a goalpost
that's high, and it's also a moving goalpost.
No, my one thing that, well, this is for financial success, is just like a huge cushion. Not a huge, well, maybe to most people, a huge cushion, but I want a cushion. And
yeah, what does that mean?
Well, I have a dollar amount for my cushion.
Okay.
Which I won't share.
We've got it.
No, we don't. And it's because you own a business. And I think it's just...
We've got it.
People don't understand a lot of the times how much money you spend if you have a business. And so it just makes me a little nervous, but that's it. I think I look at you as being successful.
Extremely.
So if it all went away tomorrow, would it be success regardless? I would say absolutely.
Yeah. That's the best part. When I walk around Old Weathersfield in the morning, I look at houses that are $180,000.
We were doing that this morning,
and
actually.
Would be completely content.
Yeah.
Living in that house.
Yeah.
You could take all of it away.
Well, and I seriously think that aside from land, I don't like those little houses in Weathersfield where we go and get coffee every morning. Like, I want one of those. I honestly think that having much less would be better for my personality
Success type. Got a better definition. And then I have to ask you how you answer it.
I was just trying.
Success. Millie's crying.
Your mom goes, shh.
Success is creating your time and your life exactly how you want it every single day.
Yeah.
Right? Which we do that 100%.
Yeah.
We have complete freedom to do anything we want whenever we want to do it. If we wanted to wake up tomorrow and fly to Australia for some reason, we literally could do that.
You know what's so funny is I actually had that thought the other day and we don't.
Financially, we could afford it. And also we have freedom of time, which the freedom of time is way more important than the financial. The financial has its restrictions for sure. But if you stripped away the financial and still gave me the time, which is why I'm not concerned, because you could strip away the financial and I will still prioritize time over anything. So it wouldn't matter where we lived. I could be happy living in our Sprinter van. You take that away, I could be happy living in my mom's house in the 3rd bedroom. If you took that away, I could be happy. Like, I just want to be able, what I wouldn't be happy with is if you said, AJ, you could live in the mansion up the road, but you have to go work this job from 9 to 5 every day.
Yeah. There's actually
I'd be like, Moto Academy, we're doing a summer camp. And guess what we're offering? We're doing day passes. So if you cannot commit to the entire week, which is going to be completely epic, 5 days straight of moto, learning, team building, relay races, competitions, it's going to be so much fun. But if you can only commit to a day or two, we're selling day passes. Go to themotoacademy.com. We have summer camp in July at Tomahawk MX in West Virginia. In August, we're going to Sunset Ridge in Illinois. Motoacademy.com. Sign up for summer camp today.
At the top of our road, there's like these mansions. And when I say mansions, I mean
castles.
Yeah, like over 10,000 square foot castles.
Yeah, way more.
Absurd.
20,000. I mean,
there's this guy, he drives like a really nice Mercedes car. And when I walk Millie, he drove by us the other day, actually, when we were walking yesterday when I was having my meltdown. He drives, it's like he gets home a little early. Like you tell maybe he has a kind of job, obviously, if he's driving up the hill where he's definitely making a lot of money, but he's kind of stuck to his job, but maybe he can get home a little earlier. He usually starts driving up the hill at like 4:00. Miserable. And when I tell you he looks miserable, he looks miserable. And I always just think, gosh, I've had this thought several times. You're driving up there. That is like probably, there's people that drive up this hill to go watch the sunset every day. All these people that would probably dream to live in there. And that guy's driving up looking miserable. Won't wave, doesn't smile, nothing. All that work.
The book I'm reading right now
sticks with me.
Talks like crazy and dives in a lot in the ego. It's Eckhart Tolle, A New Earth is what it's called. Mm-hmm. Dives really deep in the ego. And it talks about how you don't own anything. And so people that are striving to own things and to accumulate, to add on to their self-image, essentially, and to build the self-image by thinking that you own things, when in reality you don't. You own nothing. You can't own anything. You don't own this house. You don't own any land. You don't own even your own body. You're just borrowing it for 100 years. And then you move on, and then your body goes away. I
agree, but I also think that you like owning things.
Me?
Yes.
No, I don't.
You have literally told me so many times how many homes you want to own.
Yeah, but I've changed my mind since.
Since when? You were just saying that in Florida.
I'd say in the last year.
Well, that's not true. Come on. Hey, now.
Because we can't enjoy all of them at
that
once.
Was
it's
my
like having a
argument
bunch of pairs of shoes. You look around and you're like, well, I can only wear one pair of shoes at the same time. That was my argument
to you, though. And in Florida, you were like, no.
Yeah, because you want to stop for the sake of stopping.
I want to stop for the sake of simplicity of life. That's why I don't want our Florida condo anymore, because I'm dealing with that way too much, considering we have somebody that actually manages it for us, and I'm still having to deal with it that much. I manage our Virginia property. Like, they become a pain in the neck. How cool is it, though,
that we sprinted for not that long, really?
That was a hard sprint for you.
Well, I guess it was 9 years. Yeah.
Yeah.
But now we can be like, okay, don't need that, don't need this, don't need that. Let's zero in on the business, which we were doing kind of the whole time. But now it's like really zero in on the business. And we're fine.
Yeah.
And we'll always be fine.
Yeah. I'm starting to believe that more and more. I think it's just somebody that has a fixed mindset like me when it comes to money because of my parents. Like, my parents were very successful, most people would say. Well, I guess my dad's a lot different than my mom. My mom is very fixed when it comes to money, and I guess my dad's a little bit more like you. But I just always had this concern for money, even though I grew up in a household that didn't need money, which is funny. And you are the complete opposite. And you kind of grew up in a house, not that needed money, but that had to be much more aware of it. Isn't that funny?
Yeah, but I've just done a good job of convincing myself that it's very easy to have a good thought about anything, especially like complimenting yourself, thinking about, wow, like things are going well. Like, I've got plenty And then the first thing that creeps into your head is like, but, and then your head wants to come up with some weird excuse. And then I finally got to the point where I was like, oh, you actually don't have to continue on with the but part. You could just either stop the thinking right there, or you just compound another positive thought. Mm-hmm. Every time I say, and you've stopped now, finally, took a long time. Every time I would say something, because I start to like feel a certain way sometimes, a good way. Like I'm basically in alpha and maybe time traveling a little bit and piecing things together. And sometimes I'll think out loud and I'll say, wow. And part of doing that is gratitude.
Oh.
What were you going to say?
Intentional. I don't know.
No, part of doing that is gratitude. So I'll like out loud will say, how amazing is this? Like, we've done it. We've done it. We don't have to make any more, like we've done it. Or another, like I always say, this is the least amount of money that we'll ever have, the least amount of money that we'll ever make. And it's way more than we would ever need.
I think that's the dreamer.
Isn't it paining you to not say something back to that? That's true. What I just said is true.
But we could not live off of the money that we have for the rest of our lives.
This is the right now is the least amount of money we'll ever make.
Yeah, got that.
So my statement isn't saying that the income is going to stop. In fact, we're making more forever. And we have already, right now, more than we would ever need.
Okay, I think that statement just can be kind of confusing because you're making it sound as we could live off of what we have, and that's not the case.
No,
okay.
But we would never want to, because why would I retire from the thing that I love most other than mill dogs, Doug dogs, and alley cat?
Yeah.
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 Yeah. So instead of saying, but no.
Well, now I understand.
Bill and we've got this thing. It's like, well, you just ruined the moment. How about just say, yeah, it is actually amazing.
It is amazing.
It's easier to stew in that for a few minutes and then time travel quickly if you want to, off of that feeling. That's what manifestation is, folks.
Yeah.
It's creating a feeling now, right here in the present moment, while having a vision of what the future is, but having a feeling in the present moment that you've already achieved that thing. So that's why, like, I think you do it sometimes too, whether intentionally or not, but I will stand in the perfect spot to be able to see the house, the French house that I want, or standing in a perfect spot next to the French house, looking down to like envision a perspective of like, once we're in it, what it looks like from there. And then I combine that visual with the thought of gratitude for what we already have. And that's how you manifest.
Yeah,
and
you lose me when you look at that house though, because that house ain't it.
I think that house is it.
I don't need 10,000 square feet of a house.
It's 9,000. And also,
listen to yourself.
If you guys enjoyed this podcast clip and you want to listen to full episodes, you can do so on Spotify and Apple Music. If you want to send in your own video submission, you can join us in the Moto Academy family inside of the Moto Academy app by just going to themotoacademy.com. That's also where you can sign up for a class. Okay, guys, see you next episode.